Welcome back to KK's Quilt Studio. This is Marilyn. Hey, I don't know about your yard, but my yard is full of leaves. So I came up with this cute idea to let's turn them into something attractive. So for your next holiday or other special occasion, make these buckles to wrap around, tie around napkins at the place settings, or you can personalize them with an initial, or maybe as a party gift, you can monogram them with your guest initials. Thread a festive ribbon through the buttonholes and attach it to the napkins, or maybe, hey, you could even embellish a special gift. So instructions are going to be on my Facebook page, and I'll give you directions to where to find that next. And this embroidery design is free there. It's done in Art&Stitch Plus, and that is an add-on tool to Art&Stitch Base. So we are going to open up our Art&Stitch, and this is what we're going to be creating today. We're going to use a fancy fill in the background. You see I got that leaf shape. So let's click over to a fresh design page and get started. Make sure that you're in embroidery. Remember, go under tools and set preferences. Change over from quilting if you were in that last. So the first thing we're going to do, and again this file is available on the Facebook page, I created a maple leaf shape and saved it to the My Shapes folder in the library. So I'm going to click on that maple leaf to retrieve it. I've used this maple leaf a lot of times in quilting and other embroidery designs, so we're going to use it again here today. So I am going to go to sequence view. I have the file selected, have my select tool on, and I am going to copy and paste it so I have 3 leaves, or you can Control D on your keyboard and duplicate this design. I'm going to go back and select the very first design and go into Properties and into Transform. Making sure that my Maintain Aspect Ratio is checked, I'm going to actually want to change the height of this to 0.22. I'm going to make it really small. And then don't forget to click Apply. Okay, we are going to grab hold of that little guy, make sure you have your hand, and move it down here with it still selected. I'm still using it. I'm going to go up to the tools and go down to Fancy Pattern Editor. And I'm going to go to Save Fancy Pattern. And there you'll see I've taken that leaf, and what we're going to do in previous years when I was teaching embroidery, we call this embossed. It's called a fancy pattern in Art&Stitch. We're going to change the offset horizontal and vertical to 0. Just make sure that's set, and then go ahead and click Save. And what that does is opens up a place on your, and this is already preset, this is within your computer, and where you're going to save your exclusive patterns. So what I did, I called this KK leaf and typed it in here. You can entitle it whatever you want. I would suggest that you use your first name or business name somehow to designate your patterns to separate it from all the other fancy fills, and then click Save. And I've already saved this one, so I'm going to cancel out and close out, and then I am going to go back to Sequence View, select the second piece of artwork, and go up to your Art&Stitch toolbar and select Fancy Fill. We're going to apply that fancy fill that we just created to our maple leaf. And go ahead and turn on the 3D to get a realistic preview. Now this defaults to go under Properties to Pattern 201, which is the very first fancy fill. You'll go all the way down, drag the little slider bar until you come to the leaf that you saved. And then we are going to change the embossing scale on this pattern to 140 and then click Apply. Okay, and then I also want you to go into the Reshape tool, click on that menu, and let's change our inclination line and click off of it anywhere, and that sets the direction of our fill. So if I zoom in, you can see there's that leaf. Isn't that cool? Okay, we're going to go back to Sequence View, and we're going to click on that second leaf, and I'm going to assign a satin stitch to that one. And then I'm going to go down to my Shapes tool. I want to choose a rectangle, and I left click and drag. I want to make a tight narrow box, and all these measurements will be in your handout. I'm going to make that just a little bit smaller. Okay, and then I'm going to put in assign a fill to it. Going to change the color. Okay, and then again I'm going to copy and paste, and then I'm going to take those up here, and the size of your, this is what I'm creating is the little slits or buttonholes, and they will need to be the size of whatever size of ribbon that you're using, and we're going to kind of center those. I suggest that you maybe turn on your grid to help get those centered. If not, you can use your alignment tools up here. Remember, you can click that drop down arrow and assign those to line up horizontally. Okay, once we have that, the next thing that we're going to do is to do our lettering. So, and you can choose any font or letter that you want. Go to Properties. I'm going to put in K, and I'm going to stay with the squiggles and apply, and kind of center that. My select tool, I'm going to go resize it. And I could have done that by changing the height also in the Properties tool. But I like this because I can see it immediately. So okay, that looks good. And again, I'm going to change it to another color so that it sews out separately. And then I'm going to select the buttonholes and the letters. Select them all together so we have them all grouped together, and now right click, there we go, and remove overlap stitches. That cuts a little hole in our underneath so that we don't have stitches on top of each other. And then I'm going to go back and select only the buttonholes, change that to a satin line, which see, now it looks like a buttonhole. You were wondering where I was going with that. Go under properties and select the width to 1.5 and click apply. And there you see, now they look more like buttonholes. So there, you're ready to sew out. You can save this in any color that you like. And I saved mine in green. Of course, it doesn't matter. It just matters what you're putting in the machine when you sew it out. These I did with variegated thread and then with a solid thread. And so I hope you liked it. I hope it's fun. If you haven't already joined my Facebook group, be sure to go to Art&Stitch and Pro Stitch Your Digital Quilting Fuse, and you'll find the written instructions right there. Don't forget to check out the Art&Stitch website for stay-at-home classes and other great videos and instruction narratives written by all our fabulous certified teachers. Don't forget the Yahoo groups, and come see me or drop me a line at kksews@kksquiltstudio.com. Thanks for joining me, and happy fall, happy sewing.